Our next video, captured on cell phone and uploaded to TikTok, shows what happens when police get an assist from rush hour traffic in Lower Manhattan. This cell phone video comes from a woman waiting to get into the Holland Tunnel. 1 second after she hits record, a black Dodge Charger a few cars in front of her goes into reverse.
Oh, shit.
And slams into a stopped vehicle. Seconds later, you can see why. The Charger is surrounded by police officers who begin pounding the car with their batons. It turns out the driver of the vehicle had good reason to run. Earlier that day, the driver and her 2 accomplices robbed a boutique fashion store in Soho. They had gotten away with more than $14,000 in merchandise. Or so they thought, before running into a fleet of NYPD officers.
Where are you going? I didn't do that.
In less than a minute after the video starts, all 3 suspects are in handcuffs. 2 of the women were repeat offenders. They had stolen from the same store a few months earlier when they walked out with 26 handbags valued at more than $50,000. David Gaskin is the former assistant chief of police for LAPD. That's a lot of officers to suddenly materialize around that car, seemingly out of nowhere. Clearly, they had been following the suspect for some time.
Clearly, there were several issues that led to that, probably some good communications between officers over the radio. I would hope that several of those officers had information about the suspect vehicle and the suspects prior to engaging. But I think they all came together at about the right time and the vehicle was stopped. And that's what led to the officers being able to take them into custody.
It's a pretty dramatic arrest that happens in the middle of a very crowded place. What's your opinion of sort of police activity in an entrance to a tunnel where bystanders can't back away and get out of harm's way?
You have a swarm technique where there's action all around the vehicle. And that certainly is going to get the attention of everyone within the vehicle. It's a tremendous amount of distraction. And what you see there, of course, is the officers are trying to take these people into custody as quickly as we can and probably trying to minimize the potential for the use of deadly force. So I think that's why you saw all that activity around the windows.
The banging on the windows, is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
So that's meant to distract the suspects and to disorient them, basically, for a few seconds.
Being involved in many arrests, whenever you can have some distractions that would assist you in dealing with an arrestee, that's a benefit to the officer. You want to be able to focus your time and attention on the suspect, but you don't want the suspect to be able to provide their full time and attention towards you as an individual officer.
The 3 robbers were charged with grand larceny, reckless endangerment, fleeing an officer, and resisting arrest.